Welcome to our deep dive on immigration enforcement and public safety. Today we examine recent analyses showing that major enforcement operations in cities predominantly detain people without prior criminal records. We will walk through the data, the policy implications, community impacts, and a more effective path forward. Let's get started. This topic matters because the official justification for large-scale raids is public safety. Yet when most people detained have no serious criminal history, the strategy's effectiveness comes into question. We will explore how broad definitions of criminality, resource allocation, and community trust intersect to shape real safety outcomes. Before we proceed, a brief disclaimer. This content is informational and educational. It is not legal advice and should not be used as such. We are summarizing publicly reported analyses and data trends, and we encourage viewers to verify claims with primary sources. Our goal is to provide data-driven context to inform constructive, evidence-based dialogue. Here is our roadmap. First, the data discrepancy. Who is actually detained during raids? Next, how agencies define criminality in practice. Then, we will discuss policy consequences for safety and trust, followed by resource optimization concerns, including costs and court backlogs. We will conclude with a reassessment roadmap and quick knowledge checks. Recent analyses indicate that during large-scale metropolitan enforcement actions, most detainees did not have prior criminal records. Although official narratives often emphasize apprehending dangerous offenders, the outcomes show a predominance of nonviolent or administrative violations. In practice, the term criminal can include administrative status issues, prior civil deportation orders, or traffic misdemeanors rather than serious felonies. The key implication is that these operations function as broad sweeps rather than precise interventions. A data-driven approach should emphasize outcomes over intentions and prioritize high-harm targets, tracking metrics like violent crime linkage and recidivism. This flowchart begins with mass raid planning and broad target criteria. It then branches to two pathways. The first pathway, administrative or minor cases, leads to high-volume arrests, detention strain, court backlogs, community distrust, reduced cooperation with law enforcement, and ultimately a lower clearance rate for serious crimes. The second pathway, serious felony targets, leads to lower volume arrests, focused prosecutions, and improved public safety. Two feedback loops are added. Reduced cooperation creates data blind spots that can reinforce broad targeting, while improved public safety informs refined metrics that enable better targeting. Policy and consequences are tightly linked. Each arrest draws on limited detention capacity, court resources, and public funds. When communities witness broad arrests for minor or administrative issues, fear and disengagement increase. This creates a chilling effect in which victims and witnesses are less likely to cooperate with police, which in turn hinders the investigation and clearance of serious crimes. This is a paradox. A strategy intended to enhance safety can undermine it. A better metric is the safety gain per arrest, rather than the number of arrests per operation. This table maps areas of impact. In detention, beds fill quickly, creating overflow and higher costs, reducing flexibility to hold serious offenders. In immigration courts, caseloads increase and delays extend, raising due process concerns and backlogs. For local policing, community cooperation declines, reducing tips, and lowering clearance rates for serious crimes. For public finance, operational and detention costs rise, diverting funds from more targeted interventions. We compare two approaches. A targeted model concentrates on serious violent offenders, uses data-driven prioritization and risk scoring, yields lower volume but higher impact per case, and can build trust through transparency and clear criteria. Key measures include clearance rates, recidivism, and harm reduction. By contrast, broad sweeps span many categories, are often evaluated by arrest volume, consume significant resources, and tend to erode trust due to perceived arbitrariness. Their metrics emphasize short-term volume and lead to long-term system strain. Here is a practical roadmap. First, define priority threats narrowly, focusing on violent felonies, trafficking, and high-risk recidivists. Second, adopt outcome metrics such as serious crime clearance rates, harm reduction indicators, and community cooperation indices. Third, reallocate resources from broad sweeps to precision investigations and interagency task forces. Fourth, enhance data transparency via quarterly dashboards and independent audits. Fifth, implement safeguards like community liaison roles, notification policies, and after-action reviews. Finally, iterate using feedback loops to refine targeting criteria over time. This mind map centers on a public safety strategy. The targeting branch prioritizes violent felonies, trafficking, and high-risk recidivists. The metrics branch includes clearance rate, harm reduction, and community cooperation. The resources branch points to task forces, analytics, and victim services. The transparency branch includes dashboards, audits, and policy briefs. Finally, the community trust branch highlights liaison roles, hotlines, and know your rights outreach. Quiz time. The question is, in large-scale immigration raids, what does the label, criminal, often include beyond serious felonies? The options are A. Only violent offenses. B. Administrative violations and traffic misdemeanors. C. Cybercrime and financial fraud exclusively. D. No prior deportation orders. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is administrative violations and traffic misdemeanors. In many operations, the definition is broad and includes administrative violations, prior civil deportation orders, and minor traffic offenses rather than strictly violent or serious felonies. Second quiz question. What is a key downside of broad sweeps on community safety? Options are A. They immediately eliminate backlogs. B. They boost witness cooperation. C. They create a chilling effect that reduces cooperation. D. They reduce costs across the system. You may pause the video now to consider your answer. We will discuss it in the next section. The correct answer is that broad sweeps create a chilling effect that reduces cooperation. Witnesses and victims may be less willing to engage with law enforcement, which undermines investigations into serious crimes. This section emphasizes measurement. Move away from volume metrics, such as simple arrest counts, and toward outcomes including serious crime clearance rates, reoffending rates, and community cooperation indicators. Publish dashboards and audits regularly to promote accountability. Incentives should reward precision and verified safety gains rather than activity volume. These are the key takeaways. First, many detainees in large raids lack serious criminal records. Second, broad definitions of criminality inflate nonviolent or administrative counts. Third, high-volume sweeps strain detention, courts, and public finances while eroding trust. Fourth, safety effectiveness should be judged by actual risk reduction rather than arrest totals. Finally, policy should refocus on high-harm targets with transparent, audited metrics. In summary, the data reveal a mismatch between stated goals and actual outcomes. Broad sweeps risk public safety by weakening cooperation and straining systems. A more precise, metrics-led strategy focused on high-harm targets offers better results for both safety and trust. Thank you for watching. If you found this analysis helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell us in the comments what metrics you think best capture real public safety and what questions you want us to explore next.